If you are ready to see the Browns go 2-0 for the first time since 1993 and beat the Jets this Sunday, like the video to start the show. Don't be the one guy that doesn't like it, and all of a sudden you hate yourself on Sunday in the fourth quarter. Welcome into the Cleveland Browns Report by Chat Sports. Today's show is sponsored by Mint Mobile. They've got a great deal for you guys watching with cell phone plans starting as low as $15 a month. It's a great way to beat inflation. Plus, it's owned by the better famous Ryan. That's Ryan Reynolds, of course. They've got great deals for everyone. That link is in the comments and the description of today's show. Plus, I'll tell you more about them later on. But let's jump into the latest news and rumors surrounding the Cleveland Browns. We are in the middle of the week, so things are a little bit dry coming out of Berea. But I wanted to take some time to revisit this past Week 1 game and also look ahead a little bit to Week 2 and talk about Martin Emerson, who made his first start. Jedrick Wills, who is battling not for a job, but for some long-time security with the Browns, as his fifth-year option decision comes at the end of the season. Plus, it's time to shut down some wild ideas about benching Jacoby Brissett for Josh Dobbs. Now, we're going to go back to our Bernie Kosar heads, a staple here at the channel, as sort of a scale of believability, right? Zero Bernie heads, fake news, whatever the story is, whatever the rumor or the idea, shut it down, John Taffer style. For Bernie heads, Believeland means you can count on it. It is a fact at this point here. So here is the first rumor/segment of today's show. Is Martin Emerson, MJ Emerson, the rookie from Mississippi State, going to hold on to Greedy Williams' job when Greedy returns from IR? I give it 2 Bernie heads. Sort of in the middle, right? We're not at fake news. It's higher than that. But I'm not going to go all the way to 4 Bernie heads after just one game. And we're going to break down some Martin Emerson tape, and I'm going to show you why. But let's look at some notes here from the first game of the season. Martin Emerson in place for Greedy Williams, played in 79% of defensive snaps. That was the third most of all corners. Greg Newsome actually had the most, and then it went Denzel Ward, and then it went Martin Emerson. He had 5 tackles. So if you just look at the stat sheet, it's hard to really come away wondering, well, how did the rookie play? I thought he played quite well for a rookie. He was not perfect, but he was not a train wreck by any means here. Now, over at Pro Football Focus, they gave Martin Emerson a Week 1 grade overall of 70.6, which was in the green. That's what I mean. I got green, then a run defense of 63.2, yellow, that's sort of so-so, and a coverage grade of 70.3. But let's look at some of the actual tape. So I got the All-22 here, and a couple things jump out to me. First thing I want you guys to look at right now. This is something I like out of Martin Emerson as a rookie, okay? This is the play when Taven Bryan got roughing the passer in the end zone. But look at Martin Emerson right now. Where is his head at? He is looking back at the quarterback. 15 yards from the line of scrimmage. Over 15 yards. Why is he looking back? One, because he knows he's got help. It's a cover 2 top. He's got 2 safeties. John Johnson is right there, which means he doesn't have to worry so much about being beaten on a vertical route. He's got help over the top, so he's going to do his job, and he's going to look back and keep his eyes on the quarterback. I like this out of Martin Emerson. Now, he was not perfect in Week 1. Let's look at this right now in terms of things you would like to see a little bit better on, okay? Right now, you see over here, there's the finger point. He is covering DJ Moore on a crossing route across the middle of the field. This is why Martin Emerson was not one of the top corners picked in this past draft class. He doesn't have that burning top speed, which means he can go foot for foot with some of the faster, speedier receivers in the NFL, and that can be a bit of a vulnerability teams might pick on and how they might game plan for Martin Emerson, right? What kind of route concepts do they want to do? How about getting receivers running, flashing across the field, and allowing them to really turn on the jets when if it's a man coverage, Martin Emerson doesn't have safety help over the top. Now, here's a play I want to show you guys that I think is not getting too much bad press, so to speak. So this is a wide receiver screen. This is 3rd and long from Carolina, and Baker's just going to get the ball out to DJ Moore, Robbie Anderson, right there on a quick screen. Now the Browns are rushing 4, and they're playing a cover 2. You can see 4-5-2, right? You got your corners and your linebackers sitting in their zones and 2 safeties over the top. Joe Woods basically is saying, you guys are not going to get behind us. It is 3rd and long. We will give up some chunk change and keep you guys in front of us. Martin Emerson right there ends up making the tackle on this play. It's just a well-executed play where, yes, his man makes the grab, but that's not counting against him, right? He is sitting in a zone. His job is not to get a pass breakup here. His job is to make sure his man does not get to the sticks, and he does that perfectly right now. Now, here's the question I want to ask you guys, though. B. Kevin Stefanski, will Martin Emerson hold on to the CB3 job once Greedy Williams returns? It's a bummer to see Greedy hit the IR again. It's been an ongoing saga for him, those soft tissue injuries just catching up to him year after year. I'm in the middle. It's only been 1 game. It's really hard to say definitively either way. But let me know what you're thinking down below. Now, before we get to the rest of the show, today's sponsor, Mint Mobile, they've got so many great plans for you guys. And I think the greatest thing about Mint Mobile is how easy it is to switch from your current cell phone provider to Mint Mobile. You don't have to spend half a Saturday missing college football, missing the Buckeyes by going into a cell phone store, waiting for 2 hours for someone to come over to you. You can do it from your couch while watching college football on a Saturday. Make the switch right now thanks to seamless new SIM card technology. They will mail it to you, and boom, you're on Mint Mobile with plans starting as low as $15 a month. How can you not make the change? That's why you got to go to mintmobile.com/chatsports. That link's in the comments and description of today's show. Next segment of today's show, let's talk about the Cleveland Browns left tackle, Jedrick Wills, a first-round pick back in 2020, which means he's entering year 3. And this brings up the final year that the Browns do not have to make a decision on whether or not they will pick up his 5th-year option. Will it get picked up after this season? After just 1 week? I'm going to go with 3 Bernie heads, okay? I know I may be ahead of my skis right now. There is still a lot of football to be played. And this could change, and this will change as the season progresses. But just as of 1 week in the preseason and offseason, I like the direction that Jed Wills is heading into this season, all right? Like I said, entering the 3rd year of his career with the Cleveland Browns, which means Andrew Berry will have to decide this upcoming offseason, which is a ways away, but it is a big decision to make on whether or not he wants to pick up this 5th-year option. Now, unfortunately for Wills, he's never been able to walk into a Cleveland Browns locker room in the fall with a clean bill, right? 2020 had COVID. He didn't have COVID, but in terms of, that was a thing. So that was not easy for any rookie to pick up the playbook and get acclimated to the new team. And then the ankle injury. That, unfortunately, lingered throughout the first couple years of his tenure with the Browns. Now, the rough estimate for a 5th-year option for Jedrick Wills right now is in the neighborhood of $13.9 million, which you can look at 2 different ways. One, $14 million is a lot of money for a team that's got a lot of big contracts on their books with Deshaun Watson and Denzel Ward and Myles Garrett and so on and so on. But also, we're talking about a left tackle here. I don't think Andrew Berry wants to just mail it in on that position, let Wills walk after his 4th year is up with the Browns, and go with another rookie that they probably won't be able to get early in the draft due to the Houston Texans having the Browns picks early on. So that's why 13.9 is a bit of a bargain for the Cleveland Browns, and that's why I think for 5 years they will take the stability of Jedrick Wills and then go from there, right? You don't have to think 2 to 3 years down the line right now. Does he look like a Joe Thomas that's going to be this team's left tackle for years to come? No. But it's still early, and he's also had some ankle injuries early on in his career. Players can rebound. He can snap back from it, and he could look like maybe not an all-time great tackle for the Browns, but at least a starter for the next couple of seasons. Now, the Browns are playing I was about to say the Ravens because I saw Joe Flacco on screen. They're playing the Jets this week, and Joe Flacco is coming back to Cleveland. And if you think Flacco is overrated, I hope my neighbor, Nick, who is a big Ravens fan and thinks Joe Flacco is God's gift to Baltimore, is watching right now. Because, no, he is not elite, and I cannot wait to see Myles Garrett break the sack record, sorry, Clay Matthews, and get 2 sacks on Joe Flacco this Sunday. And if you're excited for that too, hit that sub button. All right, let's get to the final segment of today's show, which I said, usually you say best for last. This case, kind of worse for last. Bench Jacoby Brissett for Josh Dobbs. A handful of you people have been saying it in the comments, so I figured we'd address it now. Fake news. This is not going to happen. I hate to burst your bubble. Okay? I understand Jacoby Brissett played a little bit timid in week 1, right? And we'll look at some all-22 tape. He missed Kareem Hunt when he sent him out wide and had a linebacker, Shaq Thompson, guarding him. But all in all, no, you are not benching Jacoby Brissett for Josh Dobbs. Here is Jacoby Brissett's week 1 stats against the Panthers. 18 for 34, 147 yards, 1 touchdown, and 0 interceptions. Honestly, it's kind of what I expected from Jacoby Brissett in week 1, right? This is who Brissett is. He's going to hold on to the football. He's not a huge risk taker, and he's not going to lose you games by throwing 3 interceptions. What do I mean by he's going to hold on to the football? Let me show you. Who remembers this play right here? Where Brissett rolled out to the right, and there you see, on the left side of your screen, Donovan Peoples-Jones streaking down the middle of the field. A good quarterback puts it on the money, and at the very worst, it's a huge gain. But most quarterbacks probably score a touchdown on that play. What does Brissett do? He decides to tuck it and run, which this is sort of Jacoby Brissett, right, in terms of he wants to be safe with the football. And it comes at a price. Some quarterbacks, where Donovan Peoples-Jones or any wide receiver in that case, might not be very open, and they throw it anyway, and it's incomplete, or it's intercepted. But this is different. DPJ is open. He's got 3 to 5 yards of separation. That is an absolute slam dunk that Brissett has to make. It's only about a 40-ish yard pitch. It's hard to really estimate where Brissett would have finally thrown from. Probably around his own 40. And DPJ probably catches it around the 25-ish. So 30 to 45. I mean, that's a huge range, but it's not over 50 yards. All in all, when it comes to Jacoby Brissett, here's my take, right? Here's my spiel on this. He played, it's kind of advertised. I don't think anyone should be all that shocked from Jacoby Brissett. Maybe he makes one of those 3 missed throws that he should have had in terms of hitting DPJ on that route we just looked at, linking up with Kareem Hunt, or Amari Cooper early on. 3 throws that if he makes one of them, it's a lot prettier of a game. But in terms of starting Josh Dobbs for Jacoby Brissett, I know Dobbs was the MVP of the NFL preseason for not just the Browns, I think probably the entire NFL. He was awesome, right? But it is preseason. So don't let preseason blind you too much. He had some great plays. He was also making great plays against teams' second and third string defenses. Keep that in mind here. Okay, before we wrap it up, some quick housekeeping notes I want to get to. Some people are pretty upset with Brownie the Elf being at the 50-yard line. I like it. I got no real issue with it. I think it's kind of cool. But I think we can all agree, if you don't like this, that's fine, that's fine. What about this? How about we meet in the middle, the 50-yard line, with a big F-pit on the comment, right on the 50-yard line? I think we can all get behind this, right? If you don't like Brownie the Elf, okay, I don't mind it. I don't really read too much into it. I'm not going to lose sleep over it. But F-pit, let's get this trending, right? Let's send this to the Browns front office. It would be quite the statement of the NFL if a team just put F Pittsburgh in the middle of their field. Okay, we have been rolling out a new segment here at the show. It's called Comment of the Day. I go to the previous video's comment section and pull a comment that was either one of my favorites or one that I thought was pretty insightful. So Piz Pick, who was very active in our first watch party for the regular season, we'll see you guys on Sunday against the Jets, saying, in my opinion, Brissett gives us the best chance to win the winnable games. He knows how to manage the game, protect the ball way better. That's true. However, Dobbs gives us the best chance to win the difficult games. He will make a lot more plays, but will probably turn the ball over a few times. I think you roll with Brissett till you get to games like the Chargers, then you let Dobbs loose. No one has said the words Dobbs and loose next to each other in the NFL, which I thought was the funniest thing. That's really why you got in here, Piz. But I get the idea of Dobbs being a little bit more of a risk taker with the football, but so is Nathan Peterman, and he threw 5 interceptions in a half. I don't want to see that. So, no, I'm going to stick with Jacoby Brissett. I appreciate all of you guys for tuning into today's show. If you made it to the end of the video, just spam FPIT down in the comments.